Today you join me in exploring my local garden centre, and I'll also be trying to clear up some confusion around the world of bonsai. Enjoy! So you join me walking around my local garden centre. These are some of the first things I saw there. So some prunus species there, some Kojo no Mai, and I'm not sure what the other species was. And then I generally take a walk down my coniferous aisle. Sometimes a few bargains around here. Actually got quite a few trees from here, including my Pycea, or the Christmas tree. And then at the back there's some lovely big acers, or Japanese maples, but obviously a bit out of my price range for now. Many people believe that bonsai trees are a certain kind of tree. This is false. Any species can become a bonsai tree. In fact, it's the way we manipulate a tree's growth that makes a bonsai. Essentially, the tree itself is the canvas, and the techniques we use in bonsai is the brush, with a little bit of nature being the paint. There are some species which are great for bonsai, and some that aren't. Generally speaking, species with smaller or dense foliage will give better scale. Species with larger foliage can break the illusion of a miniature tree. That being said, I like to think of bonsai like paintings. If you've ever seen a Picasso, you'll understand what I mean. The climate you live in can heavily influence your success rates with certain species. For instance, I live in the UK, so any species that is native will do pretty well and be fairly easy to manage in terms of health. The UK is considered a temperate climate. This means any tropical trees are generally kept indoors through the winter and then placed outside again during late spring. So tropical trees are usually trees that can't handle anything below 10 degrees Celsius, roughly. Some can go down to like 5 or even 0, but anything below that and could cause a tree death. Each species will have specific needs. This includes temperature, water intake, UV exposure or sunlight, and the soil it can grow in happily. There are many resources online that explain each species and its specific needs, but always take any advice with a little pinch of salt. After all, this is nature. My garden centre luckily has a small bonsai section, which also features some trees as well as some pots. It can be handy to have a shop nearby you with specific bonsai pots, rather than having to order everything online. There's also some grits and stuff that you can use as substrate, which I don't, and then of course your generic kind of potting mix, which works well for growing on. So this is what I came away with for today. Variegated Sarissa, which to be honest was left outside the whole of winter and looks like it hasn't been watered in about 2 weeks, so that's a discounted one, half price on that. And then a Kojo no Mai to replace the one that met its demise last year in the summer. With the heat we was having, I just underwatered it. And then luckily for me as well, my delivery turned up, so there's a sieve for sieving out obviously all the substrates. There's a big old bag of pine chippings, I'm going to try that this year. 2 bags of pumice. A bag of what they call lava lek, which is like lava rock basically. And then some akadama underneath that. Now this channel is centred around the idea that bonsai trees, or the art of bonsai, doesn't have to be expensive. That being said, the soils I have here can be deemed on the expensive side. My trees have suffered in years gone by with the substrates I've used, so this year I'm trying to use the things that, let's say, most enthusiasts would use. Pumice, lava and akadama are like a kind of standard kind of mix for any kind of bonsai tree, using different ratios depending on the species needs. So yeah, so these soils are more expensive than what you'd normally, what some people use in the UK. But generally I'm just trying to see if this will help keep the trees healthy this year, especially through the summer months, as summers in the UK the past couple of years have been extremely hot. Generally these kind of substrates are what I use actually in the bonsai pots themselves, and I'll go into that another video at some point, around the repotting kind of and why we choose the pots we do. But generally speaking, inorganic kind of mixes are best for bonsai pots themselves for drainage and for the health of the tree. Whereas I like to use a bit of John Innes, so a bit of potting compost, as well as some perlite, which is another substrate for growing things on. So any videos you see of me repotting this year, generally if I'm potting them into John Innes or potting mix and perlite, that means I'm trying to grow them out as fast as possible. And anything that goes into inorganic kind of substrate, I'm trying to control that growth. It cost me around £90, I believe, delivered. I think the delivery, there's about £20 delivery fee, to be fair, because it's quite weighty. So about £70 for all of this, which to be honest is quite a bargain for what it is. I know it sounds expensive compared to a £10 bag of potting soil, but again, you need healthy trees to be able to carry on in the art of bonsai. And that's it for today's video. I hope to see you again soon.